ही हो रहा है. ठीक है, मैं करता हूँ उसको देखना पड़ेगा. रंगा को ही लॉगिन करना चाहिए. कभी मेरे को कैसे लॉगिन होगा? चल के यार डॉक्टर नीचे. हेलो हेलो, कैन यू हियर मी?
Yes, we can.
We can. Okay, are we on now? 100 people on.
Yes.
Please, this will go any noise. Okay, that's all. Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you. I'm so very sorry. This is the first time that we have had this challenge of people not being available. But okay. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Today we are doing the 9th episode of season 6. My name is Ashfaq Ahmed, and I'm the anchor of PMI Chapter Exchange program and also the vice president of PMI Mumbai chapter. Before we begin, we'd like to acknowledge our volunteers for the Chapter Exchange program. Tao, Priscilla.
Hi everyone. So thanks for joining.
Yeah, Amod is there. Aman is not joining today. Rangaraj is there. And let's move on to the next one. A quick summary about what we are doing. Videos and nuggets. I'll share this link in the audience chat in a few minutes. This is the link where all our past events are present. Just for your information, 80% of the registration and attendees are from outside India. So we have panelists from 5 different continents and speakers from 6 different countries, and that's what we have. In case you have any queries related to the Chapter Exchange program, or if you want to pass on any information, I have the email ID posted below, PMI Chapter Exchange at pmimumbaichapter.org, or you can reach me on my LinkedIn handle as well. These are the next 2 events that we are planning. The next one is happening on 21st of November. So we will share the link, the registration link for this event at the end of this session today. Priscilla, you want to go ahead?
I believe Tao is going to present it, right?
Just a minute.
So my bad. So hi, so everyone. So this first line here. So welcome to PMI Chapter Exchange Season 6 event 9. Today we have discussing focus on MVP and ongoing impacts. Today we have the PMI friends joining from 39 different PMI chapters from across the global North America, Latin America, Europe, Africa, Asia, plus many more supporting chapters and the globe. So we will close today. Minutes.
Okay.
We will close today's session with a register link, and then for next November 24th, 31st, 2025. Please wait to get early access to the link. Let me introduce the chapter exchange effect, and let's see how the register link look like. And so, Priscilla.
Okay, thank you. Next one, please. As we begin, and again, welcome. As we begin, we encourage you to keep networking using the chat window. You can update your profile in Airmeet with your LinkedIn details and connect with fellow attendees. It is important to remind you that this session is being recorded. So if you feel uncomfortable with that, you may choose not to attend. Otherwise, you are welcome to stay with us. Please also note that speakers here are sharing insights in their individual capacities, and their views do not necessarily reflect those of their organizations. Next one, please. As in past events, we invite you to participate in our attendee spotlight section. To join, simply share an inspiring quote or comment related to today's topic in the chat window. Our team will select one to spotlight at the end of the session. We look forward to seeing your contributions. Next one, please. And here is just a snapshot of our program. Xchange program is a PMI chapter collaboration initiative. We have 38 partnering chapters and many supporting chapters on this program, representing all regions that PMI is in today. PMI Chapter Exchange is a virtual community of chapter leaders, a community that transcends countries, continents, and cultures. Our vision is to evangelize cross-chapter collaboration and encourage cultural diversity. It is about teamwork, co-creating monthly events to bring diverse perspectives to our chapter members and the project management community, spurring network and collaboration opportunities. And by doing this, we are building a community to share good practices within and external to the program. This is why you will notice representatives from diverse backgrounds participating in this program, because we truly believe diverse connections leads to innovative solutions. Next one, please. Over to you, Ahmed. Thank you.
Yeah. Now you want to go ahead with the speaker introduction, please?
Okay, so yes, so let me introduce the today's speaker, keynote speaker Ivona Nuunu. Miss Nuunu work in the financial sector under the economic and human development. Her career spans three continents and cut across high growth technology advisory, Big Four strategy consulting, communication, and financial service operations. She has MSc from the University of Manchester, UK. Apart from PMP, she's also certified in Associate Charter Accountant (ACA). So well, let's welcome Mr. Uno. Here's Please take the stage.
Okay, mic check. Thank you very much, Tal, for that lovely introduction. Yeah. Yeah, so my name is Ifoma, just like Tao mentioned, and I have the privilege of being the keynote speaker today, focused on the theme MVPs and ongoing impacts. So without further ado, just to maximize the time, we'll get into a bit more details about today's conversation. So I'm pretty sure we've all heard of, and most of us, not all, most of us have heard about MVPs, and they're typically referred to as minimum viable products. But if we can move to the next slide, please, we'll just get right into it. Yeah. So another way to look at minimum viable product is to also look at it as the maximum valuable proof, and I'll go on to explain what that means. You may be familiar with the book called The Lean Startup. The Lean Startup was written by Eric Grace, who came up with this whole idea and this model that you can see on the screen, which I like to call the BML model, and it is referred to as build, measure, and learn. And I'd go on to provide a bit more light or a bit more flesh around what this model is about, so you can really get an understanding of what the maximum valuable proof is. So basically, when you're coming up with a product, usually you have a hypothesis that you're trying to achieve. You probably identified a challenge and you're thinking that there is a solution in the form of a product that can solve that challenge, right? And then that serves as your hypothesis. And you then need to focus on in what ways that can add value to your target customers or your target users. And at the end of the day, you hope to scale down the line. Obviously, once that is done, typically you would then go on to measure and collect feedback, because that's the thing about products as well, like product development. You can't simply create something and push it out of the market without testing if it's had the intended impact, or if you've been able to achieve the goal behind the product. So you typically would look at usage rate, adoption rate, any complaints that you may receive if you provided an opportunity for a survey or a feedback receiving channel to these end users. And once you have that, typically that's where the learning opportunity comes in. And that learning opportunity is then you identifying or assessing, in this case, the hypothesis that you started off with at the start of building this MVP, right? Is were you able to accept it or reject it? I mean, typically I would say 9 out of 10 times you're going to reject it, because rejection doesn't mean an outright, discard of the product. Typically, it requires you to refine your hypothesis. So, in other words, where are the learning opportunities? And that's really where the maximum valuable proof comes from. In other words, what we're saying is, what was the maximum learning opportunity that we got from this, initial hypothesis, target that we set up. So right now, yeah, the slide has moved on. The key thing here is what an MVP is not, because we've just talked about what an MVP is, and we'll definitely go into a case study so you have a more practical example of what that is. So an MVP basically is not, a half-baked product. So in as much as you're running to meet the whatever timeline that you may have, or you want, to provide something to your intended customers, target users, the goal is not to just do something half baked. The goal is, which is the point, just for lack of a better word, it has to be viable, it has to be usable, right? And then it is also, I mean, you can see the bullet points. I'm not going to read on through all of them. It is also not just a shortcut to save more money and avoid design thinking. Design thinking is an opportunity to really think about what the customers really want, and then also then that serves as a basis to develop your hypothesis, right? And also, it's not, I mean, we all know about the three levers in project management, the scope as well. It's also an opportunity to reduce your scope. So those are different things. That's not really what it is. It's just an opportunity to build in an incremental fashion. And then you then have something that your end users can use and be happy about, and then they can provide you feedback on to skill. And we get to the skill a bit down the presentation as well. So on the right hand side, you can see the common pitfalls. Launching is not necessarily validation. So you built, you send it out, that is not validation in itself. It's the customer's feedback that helps you validate, which is why if you look at the model that I shared earlier on the previous slide, you can see that you're constantly experimenting with validation. You're constantly getting that information as well. And also, you're not ignoring, like, the feedback loop, which is what I'm talking about, is the most important thing. And that's why the theme of today's session really is focusing on MVPs and ongoing feedback. There's never an end. I mean, we all use different applications and we see different releases that come up. There's never an end. And the reason why you're seeing those releases is because there's probably stuff happening in the macroeconomic environment. There's probably stuff happening from the customers, from the clients, that we need this, we want this would help, and you validate that. So ignoring that would then kill the ongoing impact that we're after when we do MVPs. So, and obviously there's also the internal bit as well, which is what I really love about the last bullet point, where, sorry, could you go back to the last slide? The last bullet point where you can see, sorry, could we go back to the last slide? Thank you. You I know we all have responsibilities internally within our organizations in terms of internal approvals, the stakeholders within that we report to. But you also need to balance that with the external adoption. So, management may want something, certain people may want something, there may be budget cuts, but you also need to understand that if the external users, that's the target market, do not use this product, then whatever internal approval that you're seeking or validation that you're seeking would then, erode whatever effort you've invested. So it's important to strike that balance when it comes to stakeholder management as project managers. Next slide, please. Okay, so I thought about something really interesting, and I'm hoping it's also interesting to you. Another angle to look at, this MVP conversation is with EVM. We all, quite a number of us know what earned value management is in terms of this is where we're headed and what have we done so far. And if what we've done so far is providing sufficient value, especially in terms of whatever projections that we've done, whatever metrics that we have in terms of cost, schedule, and scope. And there is a relationship, in my opinion, between EVMs and MVPs, because with the EVM, you can look at it through an incremental point of view and leverage that. So we have this MVP that we've done based on what we've invested so far. Can we say we've actually gotten value from that product that we've developed, even though we know that it's the customer's adoption and feedback that is king in this case? But it does help put a bit more metric management behind what we're building. So that's why I put in that, say that they do share a common DNA. It may not be clear to the human eye as to how, like, they're related, but I do see the relationship, and I hope that you see the relationship. Another angle would just be like the you can look at it from the agile integration part of things, where if you're tracking value per iteration, so whatever sprints, whatever releases per time you're assessing, is the amount of effort that we're putting, because it's businesses that are running these product development ventures, right? Yes, we're trying to uphold the customers' feedback and your adoption rates, but we're also trying to keep an eye on how much time, or how much resources that we're burning into this to be able to provide value to our clients. Okay. Yeah. So this is the case study. For context and for transparency, this is the name of the company, Info Financial Services Group, does not exist. Not yet. Maybe I'll build up one day. But it is based on a real live institution on the African continent. And some of you may know it. It is the largest bank on the African continent and is present in 20 countries. If you're from that part of the world, you definitely would know the organization I am talking about. So obviously the goal here, I thought this was a perfect example because they had quite a number of subsidiaries, quite a number of channels. So within the wealth business, you're probably familiar with financial services. You use the bank, or you use an investment management organization, or you have a pension account with a pension manager of some sort. So the challenge really was, aside the fragmentation, if you look at bullet point 2 on the challenges, was a long onboarding process, because you could have great services, but if people struggle to sign up to your services and it's not a very lovely experience, you're going to drop off. So that was a key challenge. And obviously looking at the demographic, the generations that are coming up, everybody's mobile first. The days of going into a branch to fill a form or sign up, that's long gone. And then the approach basically was to focus on the digital signups first, signing up for an investment account through your phone. So obviously considering things like KYC. So if you're in the financial services industry, you understand one of the most important things is knowing your customer in terms of ensuring that they're not, money laundering or financing terrorism. So that was a key thing that needed to be met when they were building up that MVP, which I had the privilege to be on the project as well, and also conducting user interviews to understand what it is that they were looking for, right? And once that was done, as far as building is concerned, obviously moving on to the measure part of the model that we talked about, the build, measure, learn. Once moving that, so how many people dropped off? So maybe some people thought the form was too confusing, the digital form was too confusing, or maybe some people thought the fact that they had to, upload your ID and the system wasn't actually capturing the details correctly was a bit stressful and all whatnot. So that was feedback to then say, okay, what can we do better in terms of the form? Are we really focusing on the most relevant information? And then there's information that we can collect later after they signed up. But more importantly, are we also protecting the reputation of the institution that's building this app, and also protecting the customer, because that's very big in financial services. And obviously, as with all things with agile methods, sprint planning, backlog refinement, all that was put into place. And then the end goal was the execution highlight basically was you had a better MVP flow, where we started off with digital investment sign up as a first MVP, and then we started to scale, right, bringing on the other subsidiaries. So beyond just the investment app, we brought in the pension side of things, we brought in the stockbroking side of things, brought in the savings side of things, the virtual banking side of things, because it was growing. And at this point, I can say they've already released another version in the last quarter for this particular app in question. And that brings me to the next slide, where we've gone beyond learning. Sorry, could you move on? We're now constantly learning, validating, and scaling. Sorry, next slide, please. Hello, next slide. Or can I move it?
You're able to see the screen?
Yeah, I can see it. Could you move on to the next slide?
What screen are you seeing now? Just a minute. Okay.
I can see the case study slide. I was hoping you could move on to the next slide.
Okay. Maybe I will have to stop sharing and share again. I think it got stuck. Just a minute.
Okay.
Hold on. You can continue.
Meanwhile, some people are saying they cannot hear well. If you can adjust your microphones, please.
Okay. Is it better now?
For me, is the same.
Okay.
We can get a little closer. You are able to see my screen now?
I can't see your screen still.
Restarting. There seems to be an issue with the browser. Some problem today. Tao or Priscilla, do you have the PPT on your desk? You want to screen share?
Okay, you want me to screen share instead?
No, Tao,
Okay.
Tao, you have it downloaded? You want to screen share?
Yeah, let me do this. Let me share
Okay.
this. Yeah. Hold on minutes. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So this
Yeah,
one?
thank you.
No, the previous
Yeah,
one.
this one,
Perfect.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Sorry for the break in transmission. I would try to project louder because I don't have another mic, so I hope you can hear me better. So basically, what I wrapped up with in the previous slide was to say the MVP that was set up was digital investment sign up bit, and then obviously, Ahmed, you're shaking your head. Is everything good?
You're good, good.
Okay. Right. So obviously moving on to that part where you've learned and then you're moving on to what I like to call the LVS. You're learning, you're validating. Oh, somebody's screen is showing.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Tal,
My bad.
okay. So learning, validating, and scaling. So after you've moved on, through the BML model, then you're constantly doing LVS basically. So at the end of the day, when you get the feedback from the client through the measurement side, you're learning. So how do we solve the problem that they've highlighted? You're also validating in terms of, is this really true? And then you're scaling to sustain that success. So that's the top part of, the line visualization you can see here. The bottom part of the visualization, which is what I like to call the 3 R's, is retention, referral, and reinforcement. So that really has to do with part of the metrics, because if you're talking about ongoing impact, how are you measuring ongoing impact? Like what you don't measure, you can't improve, which is why you see on the top right, the continuous improvement part. On the top right of the slide, it is continuous, it is constant, always, as far as products are concerned. And that's the only way you can stay, what they call it, viable, for lack of a better word, in the market, or be able to compete against competitors in the market. So are users coming back? That's the first question in terms of retention. Are they recommending it to your family, friends, social media that we have now? And also, how do you ensure reinforcement? So are you embedding the learnings that you're getting from these users into whatever product it is that you're developing? So you can see it's just a constant cycle, which I think would keep the job interesting for anyone, a constant cycle of improvement. Yeah, so I'll move on to the last slide because I think it's just supposed to be a 10-minute keynote. So the last slide is pretty much my exit slide here. So this is the author of the Lean Startup, and he says, as you consider building your own MVP, let this simple rule suffice. So you need to remove any feature, process, or effort that does not contribute directly to the learning you seek. And that learning ties into the BML model that we saw at the start: build, measure, learn. So if it's not going to help you learn better based on what the customer has shared with you and their feedback, it needs to be removed. The process or the feature or the effort needs to be removed. And the last slide is pretty much my exit note. Thank you.
Thank you, Prema. Thank you so much. Thanks for setting up the conference for our panelists. Tao, you want to go to the next one? Next
Yeah.
one.
So Priscilla, can you share the screen for me for this one?
Ahmed, do you have it there?
I have it, but it is not allowing me to share it. Let me try one more time.
Okay. So
I believe I can do it.
yeah. So you cannot do it.
I believe I can. Just a moment.
So download this.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Yep. Okay, so let's welcome to the Pune. So without further ado, and so sorry about that. So welcome to the next spotlight chapter, the Pune Dukan chapter. We are going to welcome Renu Rajesh. Well, she is the digital evangelist with over 25 years global experience across leadership telecom, networking, and IT organizations. It specializes in AI-enabled and perform platforms, digital transformations, consulting, and the business strategy of Fortune 500 clients. It's a pretty span product and program management, enterprise architectures, and revenue generations, and IT advisory. So with strong leadership and communication skill, Reno has led cross-function teams across e-commerce, retail, and banking sectors. He is adapting the building partner ecosystems, particularly with startup, and has a deep expertise in AI, SaaS, CX, digital marketing, managed service, and enterprise service system integration to drive innovation and business growth. So today, we know Josh speak about PMI Pune chapters as spotlight chapters. So Renu, the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for such a long and generous introduction. So today I'm representing the PMI Pune chapter. And it's a chapter which is very near to Mumbai, just over the hills, probably another 150 kilometers away. Probably
Renu, you are
one of the.
I'm not able to hear you clearly.
Am I audible clearly?
Yeah, you a little louder, please. Yeah.
All right.
Good, good.
So we are fortunate to be very near to Mumbai and yet distinct. About PMI Pune chapter, we were formed around 2005. We have just completed 20 years of our long journey. We are registered for the Deccan area, which is minus Mumbai and Nashik, rest of Maharashtra, and the famous Indian state of Goa. So that's what the chapter comprises of. We have currently around 3,000 members and an active community of volunteers, as well as a very large LinkedIn following. What we do, apart from the chapter activities relating to CSR as well as training, is that we also have some special interest groups. So we have considerable strength with automotive manufacturing. Pune is a hub for manufacturing and automotive. So naturally, we have a very strong special interest group. We have also recently launched a special interest group of construction and EPCs in industry verticals. And we have a very large group of enthusiasts who are very AI oriented. So we do innovation labs in AI for project management and otherwise as well to support a thriving ecosystem that we have in Pune and surrounding regions. We also have very good academic interface, and we have student clubs which will soon touch almost 11,000 people, which will probably be the largest in the world as far as student clubs go within the PMI community. We also are very active in the Project Managers Without Borders, and we have a very thriving CSR ecosystem, and we have done a lot of these activities, including one very curious and award-winning, which won an award at the PMI Global Summit as well, in terms of adopting a whole village with a holistic aspect of ecosystem management. So not only forestation, but also biogas, water ATMs, sustainable living, and running it as a program. So showcasing a very key and thriving ecosystem of corporates, PMI Pune chapter, and the CSR side coming together to deliver real world impacts, touching more than 10,000 lives in a village. 10,000 is pretty small for an Indian village, but still, that's what we have touched. So with that, I would like to go to next step. So as a chapter, we do a lot, just like any other chapter in PMI ecosystem, but slightly where we differentiate is our digital ecosystem, probably because we have a very large AI community. So corporate outreach, hybrid events, and a very robust technology system that we have developed. And we also do mentorship and especially youth and empowerment academic engagement. That is one of our key and a very aggressive area. And we collaborate with Mumbai and other chapters as well here. And our CSR is very much aligned with the UN SDGs and PMWB framework. Yeah, next slide, please. We are establishing more footprint in the other side, which is Goa. Most of all of you are welcome to Goa, which is the Las Vegas of India. We are organizing some events there. We have also recently organized a event for automotive, and another one is coming up for CX forums. All of this also allows enhanced professional growth. Another very good thing that we do is PWL, which is Pune Women's League. So special events focused on how to empower women in project management and women in general in leadership positions. This is a special initiative that our chapter has been running for several years, and I'm very happy to announce that our board has a very decent diversity index in terms of more than 40% of our board members are women, and that is part of what we have done through PWL over the years. And like I mentioned, we also run a CXO forum. Yeah, next slide, please. This is, you're welcome to connect with us on almost all aspects, and happy to collaborate with anyone who wants to be speaker in our events and also participating in our CSR efforts. Thank you very much.
So next we are going to introduce the Ecuador chapter. So next chapter, okay. So with over 20 years of experience in IT and mobile system, Stefania Mantalia specialized in the radio frequency design, automation, and the deployments of new technology across GSM, UNTs, and LTEs, and DSS and 5G network. A passionate and result-driven project manager professions. She excelled in leading both co-located and virtual teams. She serves as president of the PMI Guayas and Ecuador chapters, and previously the general vice president as a project management consultant and trainer as ESPRO by Diplomacom. She has contributed by marketing, communication, and youth volunteers initiative across PMI, Latin America, and has present multiple research articles. So let's welcome, and the stage is all yours, Estefania.
Hello, everyone. Welcome again to this chapter exchange session. Thank you for joining us. My name is Estefania Mantilla, like Tao said. Guayas, I'm here to present PMI Guayas Ecuador chapter, what we're doing. Guayas is a province on Ecuador, Pacific coast. Ecuador, our lovely country located in South America. And in Guayaquil, the capital city of Guayas, lies Malecón, as you can see in this picture. Malecón 2000, a waterfront esplanade lined with high rises, gardens, and restaurants where you'll find from roast beef and to delicious seafood. So everyone is invited. Next, please. And yes, we are people committed to promoting the profession, serving the society, and more than that, generating positive impact to achieve a better world. Since 2020, we're officially part of PMI, making the difference in Ecuador. And other milestones I would like to mention is that this year we reached 300 members. So we are celebrating that too. Next, please. And PMI Guaya's excellent results have been sustainable over time since 2020. As you can see, year after year, we have achieved PMI recognition. And you can see in the top left photo, part of the board of directors of PMI Guayas were representing Ecuador at Leadership Institute meeting 2025. And right next to this, we are receiving a recognition from CEO of PMI, Pierre Lemang. Next, please. Also, PMI Guayas was leader of international PMP study sessions with the collaboration of 12 countries of Latin America. We got a PMI Latam award in the category Together We Can in 2024. And I presented how we did it at Leadership Institute meeting 2024 in Mexico City. Also in February 2025 in Panama City, joined with Oscar Carrasco, and I presented the best practices of Update PMP program, motivated by several drivers such as PMI Next, 40th anniversary of PMP, collaboration with 13 countries of Latin America, and deliver value to the members. We got more than 700 registered and 385 participants who wanted to update the knowledge of PMP certification. Next, please. And guided by PMI culture's values, we are committed to help people in vulnerable situations to improve their quality of life with the project management application. Training with children, youth, and women in project management, joined by non-governmental organizations and foundations, we get positive impact in more people. And the right side, offering benefits to the members, collaborating with ATPs, offering preparations, courses for PMI certifications, plus PMI and PMI Guayas membership, or access to co-working for members of PMI Guayas Ecuador, used mainly during Ecuador power outage season in 2024. Next, please. And also this year, we leader a PMI Latam Women Leadership panel with 8 chapters of the region, with the participation of Carolina Latorre, Regional Managing Director of PMI Latin America, Natalia Tavares, Regional Head of Community, and 10 women from the Board of Directors of the chapter's participants. On the other side, in the right side, you can see our impactful event, Women Project Management Leadership. This year was the 8th edition with 300 registered and 200 participants. Next, please. So, finishing about macro events. Our macro events this year was the first edition of Projecting Ecuador 2025, a national event organized by both PMI chapters in Ecuador, presenting emblematic projects of the country. And in the right side, what's coming? On November 22, PMI Guayas Project Management Summit with our keynote, Americo Pinto, PMO Global Alliance Managing Director, more conferences, industry panels, with the opportunity to connect with powerful companies and project management experts. So everyone is invited to register to our Project Management Congress. Finally, the next, please. Join us as a volunteer. We invite you to join us. We are people who love to serve others and elevate our profession to the next level with every challenge we take on. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you so much. I think we're running a little behind schedule, so request the moderator to be a little faster on the introduction. Pritish?
Okay, let me introduce British. Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes,
British
sure.
is a usual-driven technical program manager with 9 years experience leading complex cross-functional software programs that drive digital transformation and measurable business impact. He has successfully delivers over $3 million projects in enterprise scale initiative. So the stage is yours, British.
Thanks, Tao. Thanks for the quick introduction. I will keep it quick. As mentioned, I would like to introduce our first panelist, Al. So Alal is a seasoned structural engineering manager with like a rich experience of 34 years of globally working across different countries, working currently with AECOM buildings in Canada. They have a rich experience of working as a client account manager, and they are certified project professionals, known for building strong client partnership and delivering successful, complex, multidisciplinary project. They have a master's degree in structural engineering and executive training through AECOM advanced program, uh, working towards generative AI and agile product leadership. Al, if you would like to say hi to our audience.
No, it's great. Thank you very much. And really, it's interesting to see such type of experience and faces across the globe. Really, I'm very pleased to be here with you guys, and I hope this is will add a lot of value to your life and to your career as well. Thank you.
Great. Moving on towards our second panelist, Chao. So Chao is founder and CEO of Siger Learning Center, who specializes in training and consulting with respect to project management, innovation, and AI. Chao has an rich hands-on experience of over delivering 50 projects in digital transformation, strategic management across multiple industries, and have a rich experience of training 3,000 plus professionals in AI and project leadership. They have multiple awards to their name, as you can see on the slide, and they have a business degree from Wharton. Joe, would you like to say hi to the audience?
Oh, thank you. Thanks, British. Hi, everyone. I truly appreciate the invitation and the chance to exchange ideas on this panel. I'm from Brazil. Currently, I'm founder of Ziger, and also I'm a volunteer of PMI São Paulo chapter. Thank you.
Okay. Moving towards the third panelist, we have Keshav. Keshav is the founder and the CEO for iMac Design and Engineering Services. They have mechanical engineering and entrepreneurship, brings over about 7 years of experience, hands-on delivery experience with respect to project management and end-to-end product development across industries, specifically with respect to medical devices, dairy, agriculture, consumer electronics, and robotics. They are part of the PMI Gujarat chapter and have experience of leading multidisciplinary teams to deliver innovative engineering solutions. Keshav has then master's degree in CAD and CAM engineering. Keshav, would you like to say hi to your audience?
Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening from India. So thank you for introducing me, and it is pleasure to be part of this PMI Xchange session with such a this diverse panel. And I guess I will bring up with the very diverse opinions about the minimum viable products. So we are mostly from the background of a hardware side. So whatever we are building is a physical stuff in a product development. So it is very great to share my insights. So I'm very looking forward to today's conversations to share my experience from the hardware world and learn from all the software and project management perspective represented here. So thank you for having me here.
Thanks, Keshav. Moving on towards next panelist, we have Madumbe here. Madumbe is working as an international institute, as a project manager, program manager for International Institute of Tropical Agriculture. They are a very seasoned project manager with about 10 years of experience across multiple sectors like public, cloud, and development. They are part of PMI Nigeria chapter and have led capacity development initiatives and managed impactful projects, including something for food and safety for Africa and food conversions innovation for African program. They're currently pursuing MBA from Edinburgh University. Madumbe, would you like to say hi to our audience?
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon from here in Nigeria. I'm excited to be here to share knowledge, to also learn from others on this platform. Thank you.
And we have our final panelist, Tao. Tao is a senior lead for technical and vocational education program at Expertise France. She has about 16 years of experience in project management and consulting, with strong focus specifically on education, skill development, and career and leadership coaching. She is an active member of PMI Vietnam chapter. She brings in an immense experience with respect to strategy expertise with hands-on field leadership to drive meaningful, impactful work development initiatives. She has an MS degree in economics from Paris. Tao, would you like to say hi to our audience?
Hello, everyone, and very nice to meet you. I'm Thao from Vietnam, and today I'm representing the PMI Vietnam chapter, a very young chapter. And I'm very happy today because I can be part of the panelists for such a big exchange event. And I hope that everyone will have a pleasant time to share and also to learn from each other.
Great. Can start with the first question that we have for today. So as we all know, like MVP is a great tool in order to validate our ideas, but in terms of real life working scenarios, how does it work with respect to product idea as well as the business model that kind of sits behind it? Joe, if you want to take this one first, start with.
Oh, thank you. It's a nice question to start. Basically, MVP is not only about the testing if the product works. It's about the testing if the business behind it makes sense. And when we launch a minimal version, we're not only looking for technical validation, but also to see how users behave, what they are willing to pay for, and how they engage with the value proposition. That gives early signals about market fit and financial viability. And sometimes what we learn from an MVP is that it's not that the product should change, but that the way we deliver or monetize it needs to evolve. So in sense, an MVP becomes a real life experiment for the entire business model, not just for the feature set.
That's a great perspective of explaining how it really helps in getting that business hypothesis as well validated. Tao, would you like to add more on this?
Thank you. For me and for my organization in general, the MVP, it's not just about the product, or it's not just about the functionality of the product, but for us, it also means, especially for us in the development and in skill training in education projects, the business models behind all our MVP product it's about the sustainability and the ownership behind all this model. For example, for us, we provide a lot of training programs for different levels of people in the organizations. For example, for the leaderships, the management level, also for the specialist level. And usually we would like ask our partners to also have a kind of like a counter fund or a counter or something that they can contribute to attending the training program. So that means that the thing that we provide, it's not just a product, but we also want them to co-invest in the product together with us. And this is like the model that we're talking about. Like it's not just about the product itself, the training course that we provide itself, but it also like how it will be sustainable, how it will be, how the trainees will take the ownerships after they use that product. So for us, it means that MVP is not just the idea of the product, but also the sustainability and the ownership models behind it.
So basically, we're talking about going on that discovery journey with all of our stakeholders. That kind of gets us to that sustainable base where we can grow. Cool. Thanks for that. Going on towards the next one, as we know, MVP or lean thinking is more upon culture approach to the companies and the way the culture in a company grows. It's so more towards going towards in that direction. What way do we think MVP experiments influences company culture, decision making, and innovation practices as such? Al, if you want to take this one to start with.
Yes, yeah, it's really a great one. In general, in our world, as just like engineering and infrastructure projects, and going back for that, how this is affecting our culture, because really it's very essential to get that set up at the beginning, and you just start with the quick and start with small ideas and put it in the testing for at the beginning of the project. So at least you get the feedback, and it will, and after that you start getting that type of iteration and just like put it in the test. So you get the first testing and feedback from the client, and after that start building that type of culture inside the company, inside the team, how you can contribute, how you can just like build on it, and it's not just only started it and just get the final results, because at the end of the day, as long you are doing it in the practice and get that iterations and get the results, the feedback, and try to improve the result of what you have. Like normally in our projects, we are engaging our clients at early stages, like especially if it's we are doing a lot of projects with the governments and with other just like First Nations, and which is really you need to get them engaged to build that type of culture back and forth until you understand your client properly and try to put it in effective, because otherwise it's not just like 1+1, it's getting 2. It's just sometimes you need to get more and more from that prospect, understand them, and get it in effect. It's the same for other things. When you are putting really well, building a small model, like we are doing a lot of assessments also for buildings and for the projects. They have the existing projects to get some of the problems they have in their projects and in their buildings. So we are getting small tasks or just doing one building out of the hundreds that we are planning to do and get that type of feedback. That's type where you are building that type of culture inside the company, and you are operating with your client and just try to get that feedback, enhance the process, adjust it, and all that stuff.
Interesting. Learn, adapt, and grow. Learn, adapt, and grow, basically. Yep. So, yeah, Madumbe, if you want to add your views on this too.
Yeah, thank you for that. I actually like what Aha has mentioned about adapting and having a growth mindset. So for me, it's important that organizations will look at, use the MVP strategy, continually improve on their processes, on the product that is delivered to the clients. It's important to listen to the clients. It's important to listen to the consumers. What are their pain points? What are the ways that we can improve what we have given to them? And this helps because it's not about just pushing down that product to them. You must accept. No, it's co-creation. It's learning. It's ensuring that your decision is based on evidence. It's ensuring that there's ownership. You understand? It's important that even your consumers realize and the organization realize that it's not about just, just having a product and pushing it down. Everybody must accept this. No, how do we improve? How do we work with collective intelligence? How do we hear from others? How do we improve what we're doing? And then how do we scale? Because it would not remain at that minimal product. It has to go beyond. So that's what I would add to that. And I would also add that this also helps organizations to be more resilient because you are agile, you are flexible, you are growing, you're learning from what you've done, and then you're improving your processes, you're improving the product, you're improving your engagement with your consumers, with your clients, and this helps with resilience even in the face of unfriendly, hostile business environments. Thank you.
That's great. So early feedback, fast iterations, basically. So that perfectly lines me towards my next questions about iteration, and specifically with respect to understanding building and hardware, basically. How does that iteration and continuous improvement comes into play? I guess this is for Keshav.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yep, sure, definitely. So what kind of role does iteration and continuous improvement play in maintaining impact, like basically after launch, and how does it work specifically with respect to hardware projects?
Okay, yeah, thank you for asking me this question. I guess this is great questions. And for me, the real work starts after the product is launched because that's when you stop guessing and start learning from reality, right? So in our experience, whenever we do at IMAC Engineering, iterations and continuous improvements are what keep a product alive and relevant. Let's say we have developed ICU product called a warmer for a medical device. The first MVP worked well technically, but once it was in real hospital, that recently last month we tested in hospital ICU, we started getting small but important insights. Nurses wanted quicker temperature and calibration and maintenance, right? Then there are also things, there are easier cleaning access they require. So those weren't major redesigns, but each small improvement made the product more reliable and user friendly. So over time, these iterations build real trust in the field, right? And there are also examples that in real hardware thing that we are building. So also one product that we have built for the industrial solar panel cleaning robot. So that same applies for us. So every field test that we do, we test taught us something new about heat resistance, dust behavior, or terrain grip. Each cycle we made it stronger, safer, and smarter. Right? So for me, the iteration isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about discovering what can be better. Right? So that mindset turns an MVP from a prototype into the long-term impact engine. Right? So in a simple terms, I can say that the launching gives you feedback. So improving gives you legacy. Right? So every iterations with the users, and the more we will listen, the better we will able to build. Right? So that's the thing that about the continuous improvement and maintaining the after launching a product.
That's great. Yeah, definitely interesting thinking about how hardware projects kind of like adapts to that iterative approaches as well, and then uh, taking customer-centric approaches, building things.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Tao, if you want to share some lights on this topic as well.
Talking about iteration and continuous improvement, I think it plays a very crucial role. for any sectors, for any industries, because we all know that our customers change their minds like every day, every week, every time. For example, in my organizations, we created a very comprehensive training programs for more than 80 organizations within Vietnam. And this has been running for 2 years. And at the start, we use a very, very simple curriculum to train for these people. And then even after the very first 3 months, we already try to check the feedback of the people and adapt the way that we deliver. So some of them say that the constraint that they have is that the program is too long. And so we have to try and not doing intensive program anymore, but take it break it down into smaller chunks. And even for us, like after the program is launched and it received really well, very well received, but still we for the next year we still try to use all the feedback that the first intake, what they suggest, what they say needs improve, and what they say should change or need to add on more. And with that, with every year when we deliver the new, not the new, but like the new intakes of the same course, we also change. And so that's what I want to say is that if we want to stay relevant to the customer needs, then we always need to improve continuously and every time. And that's it. Yeah.
Great. So faster feedback adaptation and then iterating over it over time. Makes sense. Moving on towards the next one. So yeah, we all make mistakes, and I guess you guys must have too. So what are the most common mistakes you think you have done, when working on an MVP project or when scoping an MVP? Joe, if you want to take that one.
Yeah, thank you. So I guess one of the most common mistakes I see is trying to make the MVP too big. Teams often end up including too many features because they want to feel complete, and that it fits the whole purpose of being minimum. Another mistake is not having a clear hypothesis to test, some test ideas. An MVP must be tied to a question we want to answer, not just to simplified version of the final product. And finally, teams sometimes forget to define success metrics or KPIs before launching. If you don't know what you're trying to learn, you miss the insights when it comes. The goal is not to build a perfect product fast, but to learn the right lesson fast. It's that. Thank you.
That's a great learning. Yeah, trying to build right rather than trying to build more. Keshav, do you want to share insights on this too?
No, I totally agree with the questions answered by.
Great. Oh, moving to the next one. How do you strike that kind of balance, between a strong MVP and then kind of as you mentioned, not overkilling it with too many features? How do you do that? So, Madumbe, if you wanna take this one.
Yeah, could you come again with the question? Could you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, sure. How do you kind of strike that balance of building a strong MVP versus actually not overkilling it with too many features? So,
okay, yeah. So thank you. So that balance of, on one hand, you want something that it's good, is acceptable, And at the other hand, you also do not want it to be too watered down so that you don't put too much, and that's it loses the idea of being the minimum viable product. So I would say that one, give it good thinking, right? Ifoma mentioned the design thinking. What is the data already on ground? What can we use that is already on ground? What are our assumptions? What are they based on? Are they based on past data, past experiences from other producers or others who have, walked that path? Then when we look at that, we ensure that what we're doing, we don't go overboard. We still ensure that our consumers have a stake in what we're producing. We still try to give yes, what is good based on data, based on past experiences, that assumption that we have, and then we move on. Okay, so I'll give an example of something we've done in my organization, a project that I work on. One of the things, the Food Safety for Africa project is targeted at the informal sector. Okay, so one of the things in brainstorming with the team was, how do we reach the informal sector? And somebody brought this brilliant idea that why don't you start with the local government sector, which is like the government, government, I won't say the least, but that's which is very close to the grassroots. And so we started with, yes, it's an important idea. Yes, this is a way we can reach them. We've had this, somebody has maybe experienced that, has used that strategy. And so we met with the chairman, and that was where we started. Okay, from there we moved on to, why don't we have a documentation to show that we're going to be partners in this? And then we went on to have the MOU. That didn't stop. We kept iterating. From there, we moved on. What is the next thing? Okay, let's have a workshop. We don't plan the intervention ourselves. Let us listen to those who are on the ground with these people. And then with that, we listened. We had a planning session together. And from that planning session, we were able to determine, a product that it's not the first product, it's not the first iteration. It has gone several iterations of engaging with the informal sector. So I would conclude by saying that, yes, look at what is existing, what is data that is there. And then, of course, with that data, bring in your assumptions and test and validate. Thank you.
That's a very great insight. Very helpful. Joe, if you want to share some light on this as well.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's a good question. I agree with my partner, with my colleague. But it's basically the focus on VMP is to learn. I reinforce the last point that I've commented, to learn fast, to balancing and guide our product line in the right direction. So receive feedback from our client or for our director to analyze what we need to do and how to correctly adjust our product to reach our objective that we have. It's basically that.
That's great. Anyone else would like to shed some more insights on this?
Yeah, I like to add.
Keshav, please go ahead.
Yeah, so honestly, who asked these questions? I guess Devendra, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Honestly, I think this is a good question. So it's one of the biggest challenges for an innovator, I guess. So we all want to move fast, get something out there, see real feedback, but at the same time, we don't want to lose sight of what we ultimately want the product to become, right? So the key, I think, is understanding why you are building the MVP in the first place, right? I can repeat this. I think understanding why you are building the MVP in the first place. The purpose isn't to create a finished product. It is to validate the most important assumptions that support your long-term vision. May I correct that? For example, when developing a medical or any industrial minimum viable product that we used to do, so where we don't need any every features ready, right? Where we just, or anybody who are developing hardware product, right, just need to prove that your core function is safe, useful, and solve the right problem. So we always have to take care about the core problems while we are developing MVPs, right? So once that validated, the vision gives us the proper roadmap, and that gives us this scaling idea into the full term of scaling of the product and full solution of the product. So you build quickly to learn, not to finish, right? So we say that you fail fast and learn fast, right? So every iteration should take you one step closer to the goal, not a side ways, right? So here we require speed and momentum, right? And then vision gives you directions, right? So the balance comes when every rapid prototype still reflects your long-term values. I guess the values should be quality, safety, and user trust. That is most important, I believe. So in a nutshell, the build fast with focus and evolve with purpose. That's how speed and vision can coexist. So in medical development, we used to do these things. We fail fast and we trial with the clinical trials and everything, and we try to learn, and we ensure that our core features should be validated first, and that gives us the motivation to build that further and to the full scale product. So speed is how you test your ideas. Vision is how you turn them into long lasting impact, right? That saves the people's life, that impacts the people's life.
Yeah, that's great insight. Basically, customer building more customer centric, taking customer as the
And
center
just
as you build.
I want to add on that one,
Yeah.
if it's possible. Just like, yeah, it's a great how to hear different visions, and I believe all of them nail the point 100%. It is about alignment and the clarity and align the prospect and the vision between you and the final product, and that's where you have this type of iterations. It's not means fast or just like it's not rushing the things. It's just like what have been said, learning fast and validate early. It's so at least it's getting the things properly done and going with that type of iterations and clarity uh, across the whole thing. Yeah, thank you.
I would also want to add something. So it's just like a tips for myself is that when we try to define like what would be the minimum viable product that we want to present to the customer, my one tip is that just put yourself in the shoe of the customers and think what is the pain points, like the most pain point that they are in, and what would be the key thing that will help them make their life easier. So I take, for example, in one of our product is about a career guidance for the students. And one of the most challenging and the most pinpoint for students in Vietnam is that they may take a course, they may take university, they may take a college. However, they don't know, like, if I study this program, what would I be doing? What would my job be in the future? And so one of the very key pinpoint for us, and also like the very key, the minimum that we want to use, a feature to use for the career guidance program for the student is that there will be a function for them to search, if I study this major, what would be the prospect jobs that I can take? So that's just a tips from me. Thanks.
Thanks for that, Thao. So the next question is more towards measuring the impact as such. So when you how do you ensure the impact of the MVP continues to deliver the value or delivers the value when you actually put it out as such? So Keshav, do you wish to take it?
Because I'm sorry, your voice is breaking to me.
Sorry, I can repeat the question. Like, how do you ensure the impact of the MVP continues to deliver value over time?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I got your questions. Okay. So majorly impact on MVP continuous. So I think the real success of an MVP isn't true at launch. So whenever we launch a product, so we cannot say that the MVP has we had succeeded the MVP, right? So it's proven months or even years later, right? When people are still using it and finding values, right? So the only way to ensure that kind of lasting impact is to treat launch as a beginning of a learning, right? So not the end of a development, right? So when we say we are launching a product or a MVP, so we are starting learning, right? So we call it as a product market fit, and we keep on getting feedbacks from customers and end users. So once the MVP is the hand of users, the real insight starts coming in. So how they use it, what frustrates them, right? What they actually care about, right? For example, I just want to emphasize again about the medical and industrial product development that we do. So the imagine an MVP for a medical or industrial product, right? It might perform perfectly in the lab, but real environment reveals things you didn't expect. Right? So that happens many a times with us. So different cleaning routines, user preferences, or other operating conditions. So the team keeps listening feedbacks from the nurses or any end users and iterating as per their things, right? So products survive and grow. So another big factor is measurement. So defining right matrices instead of only tracking early adoptions or sales, right? So that is matter, sales and adoptions, all those are things matters, but the main thing is that the retention of a product, the satisfactions we are giving to the customer and end customer, and the reliability of a product, right? And even I guess social and operational impact, how that impacts the people's lives, right? How that is improving people's life by solving us a problem, right? So continuous improvement through updates, refinements, and user engagement, that this is what keeps an MVP relevant according to me. So to me, MVP value doesn't come from being minimal, it comes from being adaptable, right? So the more you keep learning from the field, the user, the grassroots, right, the longer your products will stay meaningful, right? So the thing in a simple line, I can say that an MVP, the real value isn't in what's it launches, right? It is how it learns and evolves and grows long lasting. So this is perspective according to me for these three questions because you have.
No, that's a great answer, Keshav. It's basically, as you mentioned, running away from those vanity metrics and not chasing false metrics, basically.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. No. Unfortunately, we are about time. This is such an interesting topic. I will have loved to hear all the panelists view on this kind of like, chasing vanity metrics and how you select your metrics that affects most
very important.
and yeah, gives you that kind of right feedback about the product. But yeah, I think we are out of time. So I will thanks for all the panelists to um, have share such a great insight on this product and the whole concept of lean thinking, MVP approaches and stuff. I will hand it back over to Ashfaq to wrap it up. Ashfaq, are you still there? Priscilla? Ashfaq, you're there. Yeah, I can see you, but I can't hear you. No, you're still not audible. Is it okay?
So am I on stage now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry. I think we had a very good panel discussion and it was just building up. And I think we did a really very good job about answering those questions. I yeah, Keshav brought in a lot of insights into those topics with Modupe and Ala, and then there were different questions with Tao and Jao. I think it was really a very good discussion. I would have loved to have it for another 1 hour. Unfortunately, we started a little late today. My sincere apologies for that. So I'm moving on to the next part of the speech. Thank you so much, panelists, and I'm sure our audience have learned a few new things about MVP today. Thank you so much. We'll move on to the next part of the discussion now. Let me just try to share my screen again. Are you able to see my screen? Yes. Okay. So now, so we had two quotes. We are a little challenged with time today, so we'll quickly read the quotes that I have. There are two quotes that came in today. I'll quickly read them. One is MVP is not just about having a product, but about sustainability and ownership. Multiple people have said this. It was brought to us by Emmanuel Williams. And there was another quote which is about with the exchange of thoughts across lands and oceans, we gain empathy, humility, wisdom, and a vision to evaluate humanity through the sky. This was mentioned by Ashish Jain. So thank you so much for bringing across such good quotes to us. I go to the next slide now. This is about the upcoming event. The QR code on the screen. We have our next event happening on 21st of November, Ethics and Governance in Project Management. This will be attended by panelists from Mumbai, Taiwan, Netherlands, Peru, Kenya, and UAE. So I'll request all of you to register this. We will also share this link in the feedback email and PDU email. So there will be an email sent with the feedback link and the PDU code, and also a link to register for this event. So we'd like to see you in big numbers. I request, because today the event had some challenges, we'll make sure that these are resolved before the next event and we have enough people to support us from the background and take this forward. I think that is all we had. Just hold on. I would like to take this opportunity and thank all our panelists, our volunteers, and all our people who registered and attended the session today. A heartfelt thanks to all the attendees who registered for the session and also attended. We thank you for giving your time and attention today. We will be back again next month. Follow our social media handles for more. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you soon. Thank you. And please follow the PMI Mumbai chapter LinkedIn handle so that you get to know about the event directly from the LinkedIn post. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Have an excellent rest of the day and a very good weekend. And for the I think, yeah, for the panelists, we have a certification which will be sent by the Mumbai chapter by the end of this weekend, and we'd like to utilize that for your social media purpose. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate and your time and attention to this topic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was great being on the platform. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
team.
Of your
Thank you, Jao. Thank you, Allah.
weekend.
Thank
Have a
you,
wonderful
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
all.
you, everyone, and have a nice weekend.
Thank you. Thank you, Pritesh.
Thank you. Bye bye, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you. Have a good weekend.
Thanks everyone for
Thank you,
the time
everyone.
today.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Have a good one. Thanks, bye.
I don't see an option to log out. I don't know how to. Do you have an option to log out, Keshav? In the top right, you will see a icon, top right.
Yeah. So when
There is
I
an exit button there, but I don't see an exit button. I have a setting button there. Now, how do I log out? Okay.